Hey guys, welcome back to DC Extra. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be taking a look at episode 2 of Stargirl season 3. This episode picks up 12 hours prior to the gambler's death that occurred at the end of last episode. As the gambler settles into his RV, we can see Crusher watching him from outside, which would be a prime candidate for the person who set up the cameras because he was in both the Dugan's house and now at Gambler's. However, when Crusher leaves, the Shade confronts the gambler, making us think that he is potentially the murderer. Now picking up in the present after the gambler has died, the JSA discuss who has killed him. Some of them think that Cindy was lying about her innocence, but others defend her. They figure out that Gambler's missing laptop might lead them to the killer. Once again, we see two trains of thought throughout this scene, where Courtney defends the former villains, and Sylvester, Rick, and Yolanda rally against them. We then see Cindy in a lab of some sort. She drinks something that was made in the lab, however the side effects are yet to be seen. Courtney reads the gambler's letter to his daughter, which makes her think even more that the gambler was indeed reformed. Mike and Jakeem plan to figure out who killed the gambler to be taken seriously by the other members of the JSA. Paula, aka Tigress, defends her and her family to Barbara, saying none of them killed the gambler. Cindy confronts the JSA because of their meeting without her last night. The Shade explains to Pat and Sylvester why he visited the gambler in his RV. However, their little talk gets cut short after Sylvester attacks the Shade. Pat then confronts Sylvester about his methods of getting answers. Sylvester pulls Courtney out of class to train her. We then see Cameron for the first time since last season after his powers started to show. Once again, we see his powers playing up here, and he gets mad and snaps in the middle of his art class. Sylvester and Courtney show off what they each can do, and well, some of Sylvester's moves are impressive to say the least. Courtney attempts to do the same move but fails. However, after a motivational speech, she tries again and this time succeeds. Mike and Jakeem use the Thunderbolt to find out who the killer is. However, all they get is a cryptic answer that the killer has many names. In a conversation with the Shade, Sylvester mentions Jay Garrick and Wesley Dodds, saying that he killed them both. If you are familiar with the comics, you may recognize these names, but for those who aren't, Jay Garrick is the original Flash who was a member of the JSA. As for Wesley Dodds, he was a Sandman, a member of the JSA who used a gas gun to put his enemies to sleep. Dodds had a sidekick in the comics, so if he himself is dead, we could still see his sidekick in the future. Sylvester attacks the Shade after being provoked. Courtney steals a staff from him in order to stop him. The Shade provides an alibi for the murder the night before, clearing his name. Pat and Barbara talk to Courtney and Sylvester about their actions during the day. Sylvester has a bit of an existential crisis over why he was brought back to life instead of his teammates, and believes that he was responsible for their deaths. Rick attempts to fix the hourglass due to its unreliableness. However, he is interrupted by the Shade, who encourages him to keep trying to bring Grundy back to life. Courtney goes to talk to Sylvester and encourages him to have a life as Sylvester instead of living solely as Starman. Again, we see Cameron, who is encouraged by his grandparents to pursue greater things than art. Cindy appears to have the gambler's laptop, positioning her as the potential murderer even more. However, at the very end of this episode, Paula and Larry Kroc talk about how it's only a matter of time before they find out. From the tone and wording here, I believe it's safe to assume they are talking about the JSA finding out that they killed the gambler, despite their attempt at appearing to be normal in the last 2 episodes. Anyway, that's the end of this video, so I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. And if you want to stay up to date with everything DC and more, be sure to check out my Twitter account. But until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing you.